Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So it's me. I did my hair before. I did my hair before I came here. I did my hair for you guys, because I know you guys like looking at all this juiciness. All right, cool. Let's talk about the business. So guys, today I'm here to talk about a very important topic, right? And I think it's really one that you should really pay attention to. So I'm just gonna talk about it. I'll figure out the title later. So it's basically this. Guys, it's so important that you guys should be in safe environments. You should be in environments with people who make you feel safe, heard, understood, and cared for, and loved in one capacity or another. Now, obviously, um, all these things are not always going to be true at the same time, but generally speaking, you want to be in environments that have this undertone towards you rather than the ones that don't have those undertones towards you. Like I'll make an example with you right now, right? Um, I was at a school, you guys know the deal. I was at a school, right? And I'm not gonna lie, that school towards me was very callous. I'm not gonna lie. It was very callous, and the people didn't like or care about me. In many ways, I was made to feel like an outsider or made to feel like I wasn't wanted, loved, or appreciated. It was what it was, and it was for many reasons. Some are debatable, some are real, for many reasons, but that really was the honest towards me. And for a large part, I felt like I could never be myself, and also I felt like I wasn't protected. I felt like I wasn't protected, which I was not, and it led to many problems, right, for me psychologically. Now I'm in this new environment, and I'm not here to say that this environment is objectively safer because they're relatively the same. But the undertones with the people I'm going to school with and the people I'm doing stuff with. Now I'm not saying I'm friends with everybody. I'm not saying I get along with everybody. I'm not saying all the people there are amazing. I'm not even trying to say that. But I am trying to say that generally speaking, I align a bit better with those people than I did with those people there. These people I have some level of relatability with, most of them in one capacity or another, than these types of people. Like I said, I'm not saying I am friends with everybody here, but that really helped me look at the difference between the type of environment that I was in and the type of environment I wasn't in. This environment is a bit more mature. It's a bit more. It's still relaxed, but it's still more mature. It's a bunch of people, um, young adults basically, still figuring out and trying to get forward within their lives. This environment was just a bunch of kids who were bratty and spoiled and up in their assholes and thought they were better than people, and there's a big difference between those groups of people, these two groups, how they behave and act towards people who they view as outsiders, obviously, right? So, and look, I'm not saying I'm friends with everybody there per se and whatever. Obviously, people have their different friends and whatever, but I'm just trying to say to you that, like, in extension to this, I want to really hyper emphasize what I'm about to say right now, which is that I need you to make sure when you have friends with people, when you are making friends with people, you need to make sure you are friends with people who grow you, who inspire you, who push you, who motivate you, people who, in one way or another, they add on to you. I used to be one of these people who I would keep friends. Obviously there were toxic people, right? There were toxic people. We already know the deal. Fuck them. We don't want to be friends with them. Cool. Easy for me to cut off. But then there'll be these weird in between people who they're not toxic, but at the same time, they're not exactly positive either. And I would hang around them thinking it's not a big deal, but it actually is a big deal. It is. You need to be around people. You need to be around friends in environments that actually push you to grow. You have to. You have to be around friends who are knowledgeable, who are insightful, who see things, who understand things. It might not be you guys um want to do the same thing, but you can see at least, this guy has a vision with his life and it makes sense and it's making sense. Rather than you being friends with a bunch of people that just don't know what's going on. You can't be friends with people like that, guys. I'm telling you the truth. Because being around people like that who aren't adding on to your life positively, and exactly the word positively, being around people who aren't doing positive, who aren't adding on to you positively, and you're being around people who are adding on, who are taking from you negatively, or just keeping you stagnant, that is how you waste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 10, 20 years of your life. You, a lot of you guys are in your you're in your early 20s, late teens. These are being around people like that who are negative, or just not improving, lazy. Also, don't be friends with lazy people. Let me say that if I didn't say that. Do not keep lazy people in your close circle. In your close personal circle, people who are lazy, people who lie, people who fake, people who steal, people who cheat, people who fake. Guys, I'm telling you right now, you need to remove people like that from your life ASAP. And you have to remove them from your personal close circle of like core people. They might be people who you might meet in passing, and that's whatever, but in your personal close circle, you can't keep people like that. Because I'm telling you, these are the people who are going to lead you backwards in life. Because you think that cheating, faking, stealing, scamming thing, oh yeah, in the short term, you feel like you're the king, right? You feel like you cheated the system, you found a cheat code, right? Oh yeah, oh yeah, wait until that stuff catches back up to you. Because believe me, in one shape, form, or another, it will come back. Trust me, there's so many ways. It will always come back. Anything that isn't done correctly, or honestly, but more specifically, anything that isn't done correctly, believe me, it's gonna come back with its consequences. So, guys, just keeping my point for what I'm saying is that for your personal close circle, make sure you are around positive people who actually grow you as a human being, people who actually make you better, people who are also trying to be better. Like what you already know the drill, and this is such a true thing. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. If 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these people are lames and whatever, guess what you are? You're a lame. If these people smoke and do drugs, more likely than not, you're going to start doing drugs. But if all these people are in shape, working out, going to the gym, guess what you're going to be? One of those types of people. So you're getting the psychology I'm trying to push onto you. Like, I remember, this is a real thing. I'm not making it up, by the way. It's a study, and it's been done like 1,000 times at this stage, but like basically it's like researchers, they did this with kids in school. They took a child who is underachieving in school, and then they put that child around the group of top learners, the top 3, 4 kids, and they hang out with those kids. Soon enough, after a couple months of being with those kids, that child's grades started increasing as well, and even matching those kids as well. Why? Because you do not raise to the level, to the standards you have. You do not raise to your expectations or to your wants. You fall to your standards of the people around you, like we were saying. And this is, I'm not making this up, I'm not pulling this out of my behind. This is something that is scientifically chosen, scientifically proven. So I'm trying to push onto you the fact that, like, honestly, guys, your influences really do matter, my people. And because you want to know why, I've noticed something. In every friend group, there is a personality, there is a culture within that friend group. There is a culture of what is cool and what is not cool, what is lame, what is boring, what is not lame and boring, what is encouraged and what is not encouraged, right? So when you're around, I'm going to say, low vibrational friend groups, they're going to see the things that are cool, see the things that are nice, or the way you gain respect or cool points within that group is by doing dumb, stupid things, right? But in more high vibrational friend groups, you're going to prove that by doing it in other ways. Like, I know this with some people in my school, right? Not my, yeah, no, the school kind of some ways, but I know mainly the previous schools I was in. The more you made fun of people, looked down on people, put down people, the more you embraced those little behaviors, the cooler you guys thought you were, the cooler that they thought they were. All right, the more you mistreat people, oh, let's not go to class, it's stupid, that's the dumb, stupid, lame thing, oh, we want to go do our thing, that's the cool thing, you know? And, you understand what the friend group prioritizes and what they don't prioritize. So when I tell you that, guys, please go be around proper people, because I'm telling you, if you're gonna be around the wrong types of friend groups, the wrong types of people, the wrong types of influences, you keep that in your close personal circle. These are the types of things where you guys are like young at the moment. I swear to the Lord Jesus, you will wake up being 35, 40 years old and you'll be like, shit, I wasted my life. I wasted the last 10, 15 years doing some stupid shit that just didn't matter. And you realize that all those people who you thought were cool in high school, they were all a bunch of lames, a bunch of bums. All of them. All of them were bums. And I'm seeing this a lot with some of the future, with some of the grades that graduated ahead of me. When you see some of these people, especially at my older school, like you see these people, they're in senior year of high school, grade 12. We fast forward 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. All these people are bums. Now it was a private school, so these people still live in their parents' houses and stuff. But there's still same thing. They're still bums. Like out of that whole entire class, like maybe one or two people are like actually successful in anything. The other 29, 30 people, they still suck. They're still lames. There's nothing wow going on. So that's also another thing. Another thing I want to also emphasize, especially something that I saw in my last two schools, and I'm seeing a bit different. Go be in places with people who want you back, who want you. I had this very nasty habit for a very long time where I would want to be friends with people, especially when I was younger. I would want to be friends with people. I'd want to be friends with people, or even might get into a relationship with somebody. But obviously I relaxed on that. But generally, I'd want people that just didn't want me back. They just didn't value or desire me back as a friend or whatever. And that just can't work. Especially when I'm trying to say to you, once you meet people who are actually interested in you back, that's a different type of warmth feeling. I never understood, why do people seek validation? Why do people do that? And the reason why is because that warmth, that validation is something that you really, really just can't get anywhere else. I mean, yeah, your mom and dad can tell you that they love you, but that's their job. You're maybe your family members, but that was kind of already given. But you know, the thing is that what happens with people is that they might not be strong enough to stand on their own. But more specifically, what happens that's really terrible is that you get people who want them to do terrible things or do bad things, and then they'll give them fake validation for those things. Right? So when you get validation from people, people want you and like you for who you are as your base core self. Like with no extra gizmos, with no extra flaunting, with no extra any of those things. That is the type of appreciation and love that you really just can't replace. And especially when you combine it with the up top, that's how you have friends for a lifetime. That's how you have people who you can go to war with and do real time things with. Because people who don't match these two descriptions, honestly speaking, like you don't want them. And another thing is that when you're around people who don't like you, when you're around people who don't desire you, when you're around people who just don't care about you or see you as anything, you start to low key start to see yourself as unimportant and dumb and stupid as well. Because what happened with me is that when I'm in that place, people busy treating me like whatever. They don't take me seriously. They don't look at me. They're pseudo calling me ugly. They're doing all these different things. With the more you're in that type of environment, the more it starts to affect you as well. You start to perceive yourself like, dang, maybe I am ugly. Dang, maybe I am stupid. Dang, maybe I am all these things. Meantime, that's never the truth. You were just around people that just didn't like you, or they have their own weird little hiccups inside of them, then they're projecting onto you. That's all it ever was. So that's why I'm trying to say to you that it's really, really not the same thing. And more specifically, like it's so vital and important that you protect your mental and emotional frame. It's so important that you protect those things. You have to guard those things with your life because those things are the things that make you. And if you're around people that just don't care about you, just don't really see you as anything important, or if you're around people who are like that, I'm telling you, your self esteem is really going to be messed up. Is going to get messed up. I don't care how many motivational you listen to, how many books you read, how many podcasts, how much journaling, notes, meditation. no G. I don't care how much you do, you're still going to feel terrible. That's why priming your environment or being hyper aware of your environment can really help navigate some of these issues for you. Another thing that I also want to add is never forget how people treated you. Now, that's something that I have to add. Now, especially for the stage of life where I'm at and how I'm standing and feeling about a lot of things, not only do I wouldn't not only do I just not care, but it's more like it's not of my concern and it's not anything important. But more specifically, like when I say to you, never forget how people treat you, I really do mean it. In the sense that a lot of you guys, all right, if you're watching this channel especially, you are learning, growing, ascending, and getting up in such a ways in so many ways that people just quite frankly couldn't wrap their heads around because they're not nearly half at your level. But not only that, not only that, right? The thing is that I was saying this some videos back, because like every period, like my videos kind of have a theme in a way, but I want to say this now, which is that like never forget how people treat you, in the sense that like when you are quote unquote nobody, when you are quote unquote unimportant person, when you are quote unquote all these things, these people just looked over you. They looked over you. They treated you like nothing. They stepped over you. They thought you were a nothing, a nobody. But then now we fast forward a little bit. Now you got a little bit of some. Now you got a bit of this, that. All of a sudden now, oh my God, all of a sudden, your big forehead, it's no longer an issue anymore. What? Your acne? We never saw it. What? You are fat? Since when? Like, all of a sudden now, these things that people used to make fun of you for or put you down for, oh, it's not a big deal anymore. Oh, we forgot about that. Now, all of a sudden, people are being nice to you. That is the epitome of fake. That is the epitome of fake. Guys, when I tell you that it's vitally important for you to keep that close knit circle in such a way that honestly, whatever the outside people say, whatever they say, they can say it. Because I'll tell you what, the people who understand it, they understand it. And the people who don't, they're not going to. They're never going to. In fact, I was watching a TED talk about dating apps, right? I was watching a TED talk about dating apps, and it was talking about dating and love. But I want to talk about this one thing though. There was a specific section of the TED talk where they were talking about love and dating apps and how should people post pictures on dating apps and stuff. And you know what the lady said? The best thing, she said this. She said that you see a lot of people when they put their pictures online or on dating apps, they want to put their best pictures. They want to hide their flaws. They want to hide how chubby they are, or their acne, or whatever, right? But the thing is that what you'll see is that the people who loved you, or the people who find you attractive, they find you attractive anyways. Like they're going to find you attractive still being. And the people who are going to nitpick you for, oh, well, I don't like her, I don't know, she I don't know her, her left earlobe is a bit lower than her right earlobe, or I'm saying it's just some stupid thing, or I don't know, maybe I think one of his hands is smaller than the other hands, or maybe he has you see I have a dot here on my hand and I don't have it on, I don't even know if you see it, but anyways, people who are going to nitpick you for those small little things, or who are going to have massive problems about, like, oh, this person's a different race, so of course I don't like them, whatever. Those people who are either going to nitpick you for one reason or another, whether small or big or whatever, you were never going to like them anyways, and they were going to never like you anyways. But the people who loved you were going to always stay loving you. So when I tell you that keep your circle small and only associate with those people who you can see that, hey, this person, this guy, this girl, I can see like they get it. I can see that we matching. I can see that they understand it, right? You guys are gonna get along like smooth butter. But all these other groups of people, fuck them. And here's the thing: I always tell you guys to be independent. Always tell you guys to do that. And I'm not saying that because I want to instill some type of trust issues in you. I tell you to be independent because, huh? I tell you to be independent because I understand how the world works. The world, like, I'm just gonna keep it real for you guys out here. The world is cruel. The world is cruel. It's hard. It's expensive. Nobody cares. People are greedy, selfish, terrible individuals. All right. So I only tell you to be independent for you can be safe. I want you to be safe. I want you to be secure. That's the only reason why I told you to be independent. Because I'll tell you what, nobody's going to care about your mental and emotional and physical well being as much as yourself. Everybody else doesn't care because they're focused on their own and their friends and their little group. So I'm like, fuck it, you do the same thing because guess what? These other groups of people, they don't have the right agendas. They don't have the right agendas. They don't have the right workings. They're not good people. A lot of them are actually terrible people in hiding. I'm just going to be very honest with you. Right? They have weird agendas. They're terrible, awful people. So no, don't help them. Let them starve to death because we don't want people like that to gain strength in any capacity. And that's why it's important for you to gain strength, for you can be able to push your own agendas. And I'm not talking about like, oh, we want to take over the world and kill people. I'm talking about like there's people out there who are legitimately evil. Like in so many ways. Like I can keep on going. Like there's you can see this in your own friend group. Like I remember like some time back when I was a kid, right? When I was like a kid, I was like grade 8, grade 9. Was it grade 9? I think it was grade 9. In my city, what happened is that there was a famous thing that it wasn't famous, it was the nasty, terrible type of famous. It was something that had gone viral, right? So it was these boys who were like a group, whatever, and they had a video of them raping some girl, which was insane. I mean, obviously they went to jail, and Christ knows what happened after the fact. But then you can see what I'm talking about here. Now, of course, that's an extreme example, but there's people out there, like we talked about earlier in this video, who they want to look down on people, treat people differently. They want to hurt other people. They want to do these types of things. You don't mesh with these people. They're not your people. They're not your kind. All these types of people. So of course, if they don't think that you're cool or that you're swag or whatever the hell they have in their heads, perfect. That's good. That's a good sign. It means you're on the right track. It means you're doing the right things because you don't want them to think that you're cool. You don't want them to think that you're swagger. You don't want them to think that you're amazing. Because if they did, it would be a problem. It will be a very big problem because it will show that you got issues yourself, and hey, you'd be one of them. So when I tell you that, like, honestly, don't be concerned about what these other weird groups of people think. Fuck them. Like, you're never gonna align with these people. Like, these people are weird beyond comprehension, and not even in a cute way. You don't have to understand them. You don't have to. It's all about creating your own space, your own place, your own environment slash community of your own people. And you guys existing in this crazy, crazy world and moving through it and achieving whatever your goals are and whatever. That's what it's all about. I'm being so honest with you guys. In fact, like the older I'm getting, the better I'm understanding the fact that like ownership and creating your own spaces and having your own things is really the main thing because it's really the most important thing because you can go from this person's company, this person's workplace, this school to another school, to another school, to another place, to another workplace, and rotate and rotate and rotate. And what you'll see, you'll meet one group of assholes and another group of assholes and another group of assholes, and it's just never going to stop. You're gonna go work for this asshole boss to another asshole boss, then after another asshole. It's like the rinse and repeat of the same thing. Like some people, they're terrible people. It's the same person, different body. I promise you. Might be communicated a bit differently, but in essence, they're the same thing. And you ran away from this one to this one, and then to that one to that one. So what I'm trying to say is that going laterally is not gonna work. You need to go vertically. You heard that, like going horizontally is not gonna work. You have to go vertically. You need to go up, not side to side, is what I'm trying to say to you guys. So really, what I'm trying to say to you guys is that essentially. So it's like 3 in the morning, but I don't even know when you're watching this. Shout out to you if you are. But yeah, I really hope you found some value in my video, even if it served as a good reminder of a couple things. But that's really the thing I was trying to say to you, which is like towards the end, which is that like you can't escape people. Like what I will tell you is this. For me, what I can see is that once I can understand triggers or cues, I can already tell what type of people are there. I can already tell. Once I can understand the cues and the triggers, even by even how somebody talks and acts and behaves, I can already tell what type of person they are and what they do. And it's like, oh, don't judge a book by its cover. It's like, nah, we judging over here. Like, I'm just keeping it real. Like, if somebody's busy walking around with a fucking, Adolf Hitler, like, we judging. Like, you're not going to judge. Well, we are sure as hell judging. And you can probably figure what type of person that individual is. So, like, when I'm trying to tell you, and obviously you could be like, oh, that's an extreme example, whatever. And of course, I agree. Some people do take some time for you to really see who they are. I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying. But my point I'm trying to make with you is that, like, stop trying to run from this asshole group to another asshole group thinking that these people are better. What you need to do is create your own spaces, create your own places where you can fester and have your own people groups. Because when it's your group or a group of people that you align with and a group of people that you understand and you guys understand each other, nobody can tell you guys shit. Nobody. And because of the type of people and personality that there is, it will naturally repel people away. If you are a group of people who value hard work, honesty, fun, being respectful, if that's the essence or some of the core components of your group, people who don't align with those things, they're obviously not going to want to be friends with you guys. They're not going to want to be friends with you. So naturally, you repel those people anyways, and you attract the good people you want to anyways. And I know it can be hard. Like, I'm not gonna joke with you. I know this thing can be hard to practice sometimes, and I know life can, like, I know in general, guys, in life will always get in the way, whether it's things happening, your mental health, your physical health. Like, I know all these things happen and they derail you like crazy. But the best thing I can keep on telling you is that, like, you just need to keep on working. You just need to keep on going. It's okay. You want to take a day off. You want to rest. You want to sit. Sometimes you gotta rest, guys. I think that's low key something you people don't understand sometimes, which is that sometimes growth comes within resting or taking a break, just for so that you can recharge in such a good way, so that when you do come back, you can come back better, stronger, or more focused. But it's that. So what I can basically tell you is basically just that. So yeah, guys, that's really the video. I'll see you guys on the next one. You know me, like, I only want to really sit down and come back when I have a really, like, a meat and potatoes type of video for you guys. If I don't have meat and potatoes, like some type of like meaty topic point to punch at, if I don't have that, and I can't just sit about here and fluff around. That's why, with my content, at the end of the day, you have something to chew on when you leave. You have something to keep in your head while you go away. And I know, like, sometimes for some people, you sometimes need a reminder, a good reminder of some of these things, right? You need somebody to remind you. And I was thinking about making that type of content, but then I realized that it doesn't align with me or my message. If it's that bad, like, repeat my videos. And some of my videos are kind of repetitive in ways, even though I touch on a lot of things, hey, many things I touch on, right? Usually personal growth but still, I want to talk about that. But still, guys, please take care of yourselves. Take care of the ones you love, even the future people you might love. I know that's a new thing for me to say. Last thing is that, before I go, kind of random, bit off topic, but it's, guys, just, like, forget about the past. Like that, if I didn't say that, like, forget about the past. I say that because, like, the past is the past, Like, what I can tell you is that if there's any people, persons, family, situations, circumstances that remind you about the past, that emphasize or re-emphasize the hurt or the pain you went through, that's when like you really can start crashing out and getting mad and everything like that. But I've been telling you to be independent and get your own money anyway, so that you can just go do your own thing. Because a lot of us, when we're growing up, for most of the time, we don't exactly have as much power or urgency over our lives as we would have wanted, especially when we were like teenagers and kids. Like, of course, some of us were stupid and we should have had better advices and stuff. But even when you're in your later teens, like 18, 19, maybe even 17, or even early 20s, you still don't have that control over your life, even mid 20s, hey, for some people. And all I have to say is, like I keep on saying, keep on working, keep on going, keep on, and just don't stop, family, because like, you know, keep on working for your independence. I don't know what you're doing, whether it's a drop shipping, e-commerce, I don't know what you're doing, Bitcoin, goddamn it, Forex, whatever, like figure it out, family, and just stick at it and make it happen. So yeah, that's all I got to say to you. Peace out. Bye. You know I love you. You guys know I care about you guys. I think I rambled on a little bit too much. But yeah. Also work on being compassionate to your younger self and you and to other people in general. Obviously be smart and about who you talk to. But aside from that, that's all from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye. My hair is amazing. You gotta love this shit, man.